We just do Fortitude because it's sort of in the same vein.
Yeah, I haven't seen it. I'm on strike.
You haven't watched it?
I don't see. This annoyed me because again, inside knowledge. At the end of the last podcast, after we'd recorded, Gary set us homework to watch Fortitude.
It's after the podcast, therefore it's only your word against mine because there's no evidence of it.
Yes, but who does the edit?
Yeah, but there's no evidence of that.
I know.
Play the evidence right now.
Hello, my name is Gary. I think as podcast homework we should all watch Fortitude on Sky Atlantic. As I say, this is Gary.
This was Sky Atlantic's big, as Gary described it last week, blockbuster drama with a multitude of big names: Michael Gambon, Christopher Eccleston, Stanley Tucci, and the lady from The Killing, whose name is Gary. Pronunciation.
Sophia Grable.
Almost.
I've never known you so pigged off.
Sophia Grable. I've met her. It's Sophia. That's what she called herself.
Sophia.
I believe it is Sophia. I believe it is.
I've met her. Just remember.
The Fortitude of the title is a town in the Arctic where we're told at the start there's no crime, but the opening scene is Michael Gambon shooting a man who's being mauled by a polar bear, and then the town sheriff, played by Richard Dormer, has sort of covered it up. So it's one of those places where there's no crime because of the people in charge, basically, who are sort of sugarcoating the place, shall we say, Luke? Would you say that's fair? They're sort of And Sophia Grable's character is the town's governor, who's trying to get a new hotel built to encourage tourism and stuff like that. But there's a big is it archaeological? Is he Christopher Eccleston's character?
I guess so. I'm always confused about that sort of thing.
He's doing sort of a survey, and he discovers that there might be sort of like a mammoth, a sort of carcass of a mammoth buried where they want to put the new hotel. Christopher Eccleston's character makes all these enemies, and then, surprise, surprise, he ends up murdered. What I said in my review was that that build-up did to me resemble an episode of Murder, She Wrote, where the character who's about to be murdered makes all these enemies and then is murdered, and then Angela Lansbury turns up, solves it in 20 minutes. Stanley Tucci turns up, it's going to take him 10 episodes to solve it.
Well, he hasn't got the typewriter, to be fair.
He's not Angela Lansbury, though, is he, to be fair? Hair.
What I liked about this was the sort of setting. I believe all the exteriors were filmed in Iceland, not the supermarket.
Because that Peter Andre appeared halfway through episode.
It does create sort of a eerie atmosphere, which adds to sort of this, this feel of this close-knit community where everyone knows each other. I know one reviewer compared it to Royston Vasey with the League of Gentlemen. And also,
local people.
The strong cast also. Sophia Grable, she's the sort of leading light of the cast. Well, I thought Michael Gambon was on screen. He was good. Christopher Eccleston, in his small capacity, was believable as this sort of pioneering scientist who wanted to, explore the habitat, and Stanley Tucci as well, who turned up very late in the first episode. The
thing is that Christopher Eccleston absolutely stole the show in the American show The Leftovers, and I think that's where America particularly, and I know this has been another cross production, or Sky have at least got big American scriptwriters and things like that in to do with this. And I think they've seen how good Christopher Eccleston was in that, and of course, we all know.
He's not in it very much.
No, but he wasn't very much in The Leftovers, is what I'm saying, okay. But he stole the show. He was one of the best actors.
He doesn't really steal the show in this, I have to say.
No, I would say it was too long, and there's another 11 of them.
Yeah, 10. There's another 10. It was
11. Are all of them going to be 2 hours?
No, I mean, this was the thing, and the problem I had was this was like 90 minutes without the ads, and I thought if it had ended after the murder, after they found Christopher Eccleston's body, then that would have been a good way to end it. Come back next week, blah blah blah. But what we had to wait until they, because originally he wasn't dead, but then he was pronounced dead in hospital, and then Stanley Tucci arrived, and I thought they were extending this episode out because they wanted to get Stanley Tucci in because he was one of the big name stars on the poster, and people would have complained if they hadn't have seen him in the first episode, which I wouldn't have minded at all. It's been trailered, it's been posted, there's billboards everywhere, Luke, of
I'm not
Fortitude.
out enough.
I know. But I'm saying, if there was like 4 or 6 of these, I might be tempted to watch the rest of the series, but I don't know where they can go with 10, and I'm not invested in a lot of the other characters. There's like a couple whose son might be dying of polio. There's the waitress in the hotel who's got an odd backstory, who sort of at one point was waiting at her door with a rifle for some reason.
When there's a big cast of well-known faces, it doesn't always mean this is the most amazing show you'll ever watch. And I did feel a bit like, and let me just say, Sophia Grable is the best thing about this. Christopher Eccleston does his bit, but Sophia Grable for me was the best thing. It was hard going for an hour and a half.
She gives a very delicate performance, doesn't she? I would say it's sort of, her character is very matter of fact. She's very clinical.
How much of The Killing have either of you seen?
I've seen all 3 series.
Right. She is just a very realistic and likeable character in that. And I think this because I think that's obviously how it was written.
I wouldn't say she was likeable in The Killing. I wouldn't say she was I mean, she's not unlikable, but she's very blunt character.
I think you get drawn into her story and drawn into
I agree with that, but I wouldn't exactly call her a likeable presence in The Killing. In this, she's a bit more personable because obviously she's the person in charge of the whole community.
This is going to be awkward because also on the line we do have Sophia Grable. Sophia, how would you like to respond to what Matt just said? He called you not likeable. Do you have any? No, she's not here. But let that be.
Please don't do a Danish accent.
God.
The closest I could get was a Swedish chef. I wasn't going to do it. No, it was too long for me, and I said this to Matt. For some reason, in an hour and a half film, I can manage it, but an hour and a half of this, because you don't get any proper resolution, it's all set up. You just feel a little bit, just get going.
But there are little things that draw me in, like the Stanley Tucci character. One of them noted, you would have had to have set off before he was pronounced dead. So how are you here now? That bit intrigued me. But
I mean, the ultimate question, whether we like it or whether we didn't, is whether we'll watch any more. I'm not rushing out to watch more.
I'm on the fence.
He'll finish building it at the end.
Yeah.
Project. But if there's a lull, if we're in a lull, if it was like we had another World Cup this summer, this might be something I'd go back to. Yeah. But apart from that, I don't know.
I think I'm going to go on what other critics say, because I think sometimes that draws me back. Like, for example, Detectorists, I don't think I would have given that another go.
No, probably not.
For other people.